This has now been capped here, and it's now been capped here. That was not the case previously. So we had a contractor doing some work in the home, and finished their work for the day, repressurized the water lines without capping any of the showers that they had been working on. Pressurized them at the end of the day, 10 or 12 hours of hot water pouring out into this house, starting on the top floor, all the way down to the bottom. Just a mistake.
This is a private home. We were called in on behalf of the homeowner and their contractor. Unfortunately for the homeowner and the contractor, during the course of some renovations, there was a water leak. The contractors were doing some demolition work. The water shut down. They didn't properly cap off all of the fixtures. And unfortunately, one shower head in the upper bathroom wasn't capped. So the water was shut down for a period of time. And when they repowered the water without a cap on it, what happens? That particular shower head caused a flood. Unfortunate considering the home was unoccupied, and ended up causing this shower head to leak for an extended period of time throughout the home. Lots of water, hundreds of gallons of water.
It's probably about 3 weeks ago now. It's been back and forth with the insurance to make sure that everything's covered. Good news is that most of the wet material was already pulled down by the contractor almost right away. So now we've been approved to do the emergency work. So now we're gonna come in here starting tomorrow and finish everything off that we need to remove. Okay, let's go take a look inside. Floor was damaged from day one. If we turn around and look behind you, that's the living room ceiling that we were talking about. That's all been pulled down. As we move forward here, you'll see it's a huge room. And the whole ceiling is brought down to try and mitigate as much damage as possible. So now that we've been approved to do our demo work, as we noted, water all up on this exterior wall right here, we're gonna remove basically the entire exterior wall, pull out the vapor barrier and the insulation here, make sure we got everything out of here that's been wet. That could cause some damage down the road.
3-story home, well, 2-story home with a basement, so 3 finished floors. Water throughout. An older home, so multiple layers of substrate and subfloors and drywall, and a mix of renovations over the years, which compounds the issue, which led to a pretty prolonged dryout. Obviously, we were dealing with a variety of different materials. One of the things we encountered was removal of an old hardwood floor, and that hardwood floor, unfortunately, was applied with a mastic putty, which we've run into on a few projects. There's actually a high-rise building downtown that has bamboo engineered floors with black mastic putty, and anyone who's worked with the stuff, it's fantastic. The adhesive is great and the floors don't move, but when you go to take it up, it's quite a mess. The demo team we had in there was in there for several weeks trying to get that floor up. It was quite the project. You guys were on site. You've got some footage, I think, and it was quite involved. So unfortunate, but it's part of what we do, and we tried to dry the floor in place. I know we've got some hardwood floor drying, some techniques that we use, but just the deluge, the amount of water, the prolonged exposure, there was no coming back. Once we got started on the demo, as often happens with our projects, you don't really know until you start, and it ended up that we pretty much had to take it down to the studs on all 3 floors. A large living room, a kitchen in the basement suite, and obviously the bedroom area upstairs that was affected as well. Emergency was quite extensive. There was a number of factors involved with that, working with 2 insurance companies. So as you know, I mean, our industry is super document heavy, right? I mean, the amount of documentation that's required. The funny part with this is that when this was finished, the homeowner actually ended up hiring a new contractor to finish the balance of the repairs. We had to walk the new contractor through the bidding process because he'd never done an insurance bid before. We actually ended up bidding on it, and the homeowner's contractor won that bid. He was the lower price, and he's going to go ahead. He'll get his renovation finished and be back in his home, and hopefully I'll be in the rearview mirror for him.